Hey Booktube, so today I'm coming to you with the end of the year book tag. I saw a lot of people doing this like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and obviously, as always, I am late to the trend, if you want to call it that, but I still thought, better late than never, and it is still a good enough time to do this tag because it's basically talking about how we're going to transition to the latter half of this year and what plans we have for 2021. I just think especially with 2020, it's going to be great to look forward to what's in the future and not reminisce on the past. So yeah. Alright, let's just get into the tag questions. So the first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? And I'm pretty sure I have one of these books. I'm normally pretty good with when starting a book, finishing it, unless I just DNF it. And that book is More Happy Than Not by Silvera. I got like, I think 100 or 150 or so pages into this book, and then I just dropped it because I had so many other things I needed to do. And this book wasn't like, yes, I was interested to see what was going to happen next, but there were other books I wanted to read that were coming out. I'm pretty sure Addie Larue came out around those times, and so I just like said bye to this book and just completely forgot about it. But I am really excited to see where it goes with the Lateo procedure, because we were only just getting to that when I stopped reading the book, because the first half or so of this book is introducing us to Erin and Genevieve and Thomas and their problems and why Erin would even consider using the Lateo procedure. So I haven't really gotten to the Lateo procedure itself. I do not like how many times I've said Lateo procedure in the past 1 minute. But this book basically revolves around 16-year-old Erin Soto, who's dealing with like his relationship with Genevieve and his father's suicide. And then he also meets a kid from near my neighborhood named Thomas, who makes him think about his own sexuality as well. Since he's dealing with all of these complex issues, he's considering using this memory altering procedure called the Lateo procedure to try to straighten himself out. I love the unique concepts that Silvera comes up with, and so far I am liking the characters. I feel like there are a lot of wasted scenes in this book, but I am liking the characters, I'm liking the writing, and I really do want to continue with this book, and hopefully I can get to it before the end of the year. As the next question is, do you have any autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? And I don't really read based off of seasons. Like, I know people are like, oh, a Halloween spooky season, let's read horror books. I don't really read based off of a season. I am a mood reader, but I don't really read based off of like if it's cold or warm outside. I don't really do that. So I don't really have an answer for this question. I'm just gonna read what I need to read or what I want to read, and I don't really have like any book that I'm reading right now solely because it is autumnal. Next question is there a new release that you're still waiting for? And that new release, there are a lot. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of new releases I'm excited about, but one of them is definitely Super Fake Love Song by David Yoon. If you follow my channel, you know that Frankly in Love by David Yoon is one of my favorite books of this year. And so when I saw that David Yoon was coming out with another book that also talked about themes about relationships and being fake and what that means, I got so excited for it. And I just think the book's premise sounds so interesting. With Frankly in Love, like one of the things I liked was that yes, it was romantic, but it also talked about a lot of interesting themes about like grief and family and death and life and romance. And I feel like this book is set up to do a lot of those same things as well with the concept it is. I think it's going to explore a lot of those same types of themes. And also David Yoon has a really like both beautiful and simplistic writing style that really is enduring to me. And the book came out like a few days ago and it is set to come to me on Fridays, and I am just so excited to read it. I really think that I'm going to love Super Fake Love Song. So the next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? The first one is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is the Next Chapter Book Club pick of the month for the month of November. If you don't know what the Next Chapter Book Club is, it is the book club that I run with some of my Booktube friends. Troy reads, Nidhi Reddy reads, Eric from Break Even Books, just a lot of really fun booktubers. And for the month of November, our pick is An Ember in the Ashes. This is a book and a series that is just so popular on Booktube, And I'm pretty sure the last book in the series, A Sky Beyond, I'm not pretty sure, I know that the last book in the series, A Sky Beyond the Storm, just came out. I think it's a perfect time to start this series. It is just so many people's favorites. And before I even say anything about it, I love the representation in this book. I think this book broke a lot of boundaries in that respect. And I feel like even if I don't like the book, I'm still going to respect it a lot because of that fact and how much it meant in the publishing industry. But lots of people talk about like how the writing is so good and how the fantasy elements are so complex and deep and how the characters are just so amazing. And just seeing people like fangirl about it on Instagram and on Goodreads just makes me so excited to read it and meet Elias and what's her name? Laya. I'm just really excited to read this book, and I think it has such an interesting premise. I haven't read much YA fantasy. I have read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and loved it, but most of the YA series I've read have been dystopian. I really am excited to read this book and just see what I think about YA fantasy. I am just so excited to read this book. Another book I definitely want to read before the end of the year is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahereh and Mafi. This is a book that is just so appealing to me. Lots of people love the Shatter series by Tahereh and Mafi, but I really want to start with her contemporary debut because I just think it is going to be really interesting and important to read because I'm pretty sure it deals with a Muslim girl right after 9/11. And I know Tahereh Mafi was in that experience and experienced that herself. So I really want to read it for that aspect about learning what it was like in those times. And I know this book is going to grapple with a lot of important themes of like prejudice and racism and all of those themes that are still so prevalent in society today. I actually did read like the first, I think 30 or 40 of pages of this book, so that could also be an answer to the first question. Oh. I think 1 month I just like kept starting books and just putting them down, and I remember really good writing style, and I was really liking how Tahereh Mafi was characterizing our main character. So I am really excited to continue with this book, and lots of people have loved it. And it also has a lot of amazing blurbs from like Marie Lu, Sabaa, Tahir, and Yoon. And so that just makes me more excited to read this book. And the last book I want to read before this year ends is one I know isn't a very high possibility of me reading, but I feel like I want to do like a reading vlog where I try to read the entire book in just like one day or like a few days, and that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This book is so heavy. It is like 900 or so pages. It is huge, which is why I don't think I'll actually get to it. But I absolutely loved Eragon. I thought the world building was great. I thought the writing was pretty good, and that was when he was like 15. So I am really excited for I'm pretty sure he's like 30 now, 20, somewhere in that range. So I'm definitely excited to see what he wrote as a more experienced writer. And I know lots of people say that Eragon pulled from like a lot of really popular fantasy stories like Lord of the Rings, but I feel like a lot of books do that, and we have to give credit to Christopher Paolini for first of all writing the book when he did, and also like that book has its own mythologies, and he still had to write that many words and create that entire world. And it is just so impressive. And the book is just, even if you think it pulls from a lot of stories, I thought it was still really fun to read at the very least. But anyway, this is his foray into sci-fi, and I really think I'm going to enjoy this book. It sounds really interesting, and yet again, he's created this entire world. He has this really big appendum in the back, which basically explains like the actual science behind what is going on in this book. I think that's so interesting. I haven't read much sci-fi, so I don't know if this is like the right way to get into it, but I don't know. I want to. I mean, I have read Ray Bradbury, some of his sci-fi works, But this is definitely going to be like really big, but I really do want to get into sci-fi, and I think this will be a great way to do that, and especially from an author that I know I will at least like the writing style. Alright, so the next question is there a book that could still shock you and become one of your favorite reads of this year? And that is Super Fake Love Song. It could definitely become one of my favorites of this year and catapult David Yoon into becoming one of my favorite authors of all time in the echelons of John Green. Why did I just forget his name? But also, I could hate Super Fake Love Song. I think it hits no notes for me. And in that case, rant entire review incoming. But hopefully that does not happen. The next question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2021? And I have not done this. I don't know if I should, but I feel like I'm such a mood reader that I'll just read whatever I want to read. I know that there are a lot of books I am really excited to read in 2021. Like some books on my bookshelf that I still have not read, like The Starless Sea, Such a Fun Age, Cinderella is Dead, Serpent and Dove I really need to read. I need to read Serpent and Dove. How It All Blew Up. Oh yeah, I need to read How It All Blew Up. I'm Not Dying with Tonight, A Very Large Expanse of Sea, Heartless, Every Last Word, A List of Cages, Not Just One Day. But yeah, there are a lot of books that I want to read in 2021. But I don't really have, like, I'm going to read these books in January and these books in March. Like, I don't really have that. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the year book tag. This was shorter than I thought it was going to be. So hopefully this video was a good enough length. Knowing me, it probably was. Because in my last video, I was only talking about 5 books, but it still got to be 16 minutes for some reason. I don't know why I talked that much. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment down below some books that you are excited to read in the end of the year, if you have any plans for 2021. And by the way, I didn't say this in the beginning, but there is something wrong with the bookshelves behind me, so definitely find that out. I think it's pretty easy, but I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.